Okay, so I will start with XRP, and I'll start on the MA charts, and I'll zoom out to the 6-day. The turn of the day today, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6-day turn on the MA. So let's have a look at what's happening on the 6-day first, then we'll zoom in through that. Yeah. So you can see the previous candle with a decent wick on it. You see the VWAP on the yellow, the VWAP on the 6-day turn down, and equally here's the 50 MA coming down strong. Here's the Bollinger, and also then here's the 20 EMA taking a turn down. So these are looking very spilly. Again, on the support side, here's the 5 and 10. Here's the 20 EMA for support. Yeah. So you can see these guys are going to come in for a battle. It looks like we could get a bit of a push down here, and then a bit of sideways generally in this space. Yeah. The question is how far will price action get a push down before the sideways battle goes on. Yeah. So now let's have a look at the 4 hour. Again, you can see a pivot candle on the previous, or not 4 hour, 4-day even. You see the pivot candle here on the 4-day. Again, this is the 55 EMA. This is the 50 MA. What you do for 50s? No, sorry, the 50 EMA here. I knew it was too dark. The 50 MA is lighter green. And again, you can see price actions after wicking to the 5 here on the 4-day. Yeah. But again, VWAP is down. A lot of support underneath, and again, there's the Bollinger. So now the 3-day turned as well. And again, a rejection, previous one, rejection candle. VWAP is down. This is the 100 MA. Here's the 50s. Here's the 5. 5 is looking encouraging to give here. You can see it's starting to potentially turn here. And again, support down here. And the 2-day, again, strong turn on the VWAP. This is the 50 SMA, is it? Let me see. Yeah, 50 SMA. SMA is a bright green. And again, you can see the 5. The 5 is starting is very open to turning here. Yeah. Equally, this is the 50 MA coming down here as well. Yeah. Lots of MAs bunched up in here. But again, here's the Bollinger being tested, and a rejection at the moment. So we'll see how strong this move is. And then on the daily, again, here's the 200 SMA that got tested, got a rejection from it. The VWAP is down for 2 days in a row, and then here's the 5 on the daily after taking a turn. Yeah. So we've had the 5 turn here previously, and I got a bounce off the 200 at the white one down here, the 200 EMA, and then the 50 MA. Got a wick to these and then bounced off them. Yeah. So we got to see what happens this time. Now this time is different with regards the turn of the days, like the 5 here turned, but equally the 2, 3, 4-day and the 6-day turn, the VWAP on all those turned down at the same time. So it's a stronger resistance. There's a lot more resistance support, as in the resistance is stronger this time. But we'll see how this plays out. Yeah. One of the things I'll be looking for is how deep does this retrace go, and how fast this move here is. When I put the fibs on, I'm looking at the 0.5 here at 35.50. So if this takes a quick move down to the 0.5 and bounces off it, to be honest, that's a good indication for continuation up. Because generally, when it wicks to the 0.5 or less, again, it's for continuation up. Yeah. If it goes to it fast, like a V shape, as well, that indicates that it's a sharp move, just as likely to bounce. Yeah. Is if it takes longer, if we get a touch down to say the 55 here, or even the 50 here, you know, and then we start to get a lot of sideways here. Is again, all this sideways here is an indication that it's consolidation for a continuous push down. Yeah. So it depends on how this behaves. If it starts to break into the golden pocket here, then I think it's going to be doing a much deeper, well, not much deeper, but a deeper correction, probably to at least the 786. But we got to see how this behaves. Yeah. Over the next coming days. Yeah. So that's what I'll be watching for. That's why I have this green line here, just as a marker, just to see how it gets on. Yeah. So that's what I'm watching for on the MAs. When I zoom out a little bit, let me take these off for a second. Take the indicators off. You can see here you can see this triangle. This is a long-term support line here. You see it's really testing at the white line here. Again, if you look at these two, you can see the triangle pattern that price action is in, and equally there's a channel here as well. Yeah. So on the fibs, from the top of price action here to the bottom, the last bottom bear market bottom, you can see that price action has been bouncing between the 0.5 and the golden pocket. Now remember what I was saying to you about corrections. If price action bounces off the 0.5, it has a tendency to head on up. When it starts to hit into the golden pocket, you get a retrace back to 0.5, sometimes even 382, you know, and then you get a further push down to the 702 or the 786. That's what XRP likes to do. On any time frame in its corrections, that's what it likes to do. Yeah. Is when you look at this fixed time volume here, is you can see there's a consolidation pattern here playing out. So you can see it bottoms here, it comes up and sets a top, breaks below the bottom here. You see the two blue lines, the red line, the point of control here, breaks below, comes back up and does a higher high, breaks it here, comes back down, and often breaks a lower low. As part of the Wyckoff accumulation, is we will be due a proper lower low here. We haven't had it yet, so I think there's at least one lower low coming in here. I believe like this. We get a bounce back up, and I reckon we'll probably come back up and test. To be honest, I reckon we might come all the way back up and test the 55 here. Yeah. And the question is will we break the 55, or will we come back down and get hammered for another bottom before we head on up? So that's the question. But you can see in this consolidation pattern, we are still due a lower low here, unless it's weak, unless it's this, and we're now on the escalation up. I can see there's some people putting that out that we bottomed out. We're heading up. I think until we break 55, we can't really say that for sure. Yeah, we really need to see that getting broken. Yeah. So now when I look at it on, where's my other chart? Sorry, I had it there. This one. I apologize. When I look at it on this chart, you can see there's a very specific pattern that XRP, same pattern, part of the Wyckoff, same pattern that plays out, is at the moment XRP is in this pattern and hasn't done this leg fully yet. Okay, so now again, you can see that there is a point of control line here, center line here, and that it comes up, it tests it, and then it does one more drop before a proper breakout. Yeah, so it does the 68.36 here. Again, here is the test, and then again 67.46, the final clear out, the final blow off bottom, essentially. Yeah, before again it heads on up. Yeah. So now here we are here where here's the point of control up here. We've had one test here. And it's possible that we're going to have another test up to the 55 before we have our wipeout. But now, when you zoom in and you look at this pattern here, yeah, is these guys are looking very, very similar. Where you have you've got the top here, you've got the drop here, you get a higher high here, you get a drop here, you get the lower low here, you get a lower low here, you get a lift up here, and then we get a spill down. So I reckon that we're around here at the top here, and here now. I think that's where we are again, yeah. And to me, it looks like that potentially we have another spill down, and this will give us our second lower low in the Wyckoff, and we get one final lift back up to test to 55, and here be back up to test to 55 one more time, you know, and then we just get the rug pull, you know, and that'll shake people out of the market. So I believe that if this happens, you know, the emotional roller coaster heavy goes on, is that if we get a spill like this is where people start getting angry. You get a lift, people think, oh my God, they're elated, we're going to the moon, you know, and then you get such a massive rug pull and shake out all the retail that this is where people get depressed. This is where they lose all hope. So people haven't lost all hope here. Is lots of retail we're buying in at the bottom here, yeah. So it seems like there needs to be pulled down. Retail get angry. Oh my God, it's going to go to the moon. Retail get a sharp rug pull. Oh my God, I'm out. So retail hasn't got shook out yet. So, and it would fit in with this final drop of 67-68%. So they're looking very similar. Same, but different, yeah. So now on the daily down here, look, we've had this massive pump and there was strong bullish divergence. Now you start to see that the strong bearish divergence coming in, yeah. So it does seem like we're the daily RSI will need to go to the bottom again. And again, when the daily RSI goes to the bottom, I'll be looking for it to come down here and do a bullish divergence again, yeah. It doesn't mean it can't come up and do another top, but for sure it's coming down. It's gonna take its time to come down. I think it might be done, but you never know. You never know until it breaks a couple of levels, yeah. So on the stock, again on the daily, you can see that the stock here, top left, is this the stock RSI is probably starting to come in from the oversold, yeah, or sorry, the overbought. So you can see it's making a strong effort down. Equally is the 2-day here, the blue box. The 2-day is taking a turn down. The 3-day is starting to take a turn down. The 4-day is topping out again. So the 5-day is heading back to the top. The 6-day is heading back to the top. The week is pushing up at the moment. Even the 2-week is doing a bit of a push at the moment, yeah. But these guys have been racing up. The dailies have been racing up pretty fast, and to get back to the top again, yeah. So, so now when I look on the EMAs, on the 4-hour, the EMA is the white is the 20 EMA, the blue is the 55 EMA, dark blue, light blue is the 10 EMA, and then the yellow is the VWAP. At the moment, we have the hour crossing, the 20 crossing the 55 in the hour, nice spill down. So what we're looking for is potentially a back test. Now the trigger wasn't the hour. We go back to the half hour. Okay, look, the trigger was the half hour, and what I mean by that is that when it spills, it's what crossed over, what time frame crossed over for it to spill. So there's the half hour. It can be different ones, maybe the 15 minutes in there as well. Yeah. Okay, so look, there's the 15 minutes spilling as well. So now you get the drop, you get the back test to the 55. So the question is, this back test to the 55, if it will hold, then we get another push down. Yeah. So it may not back test to the 55 and a half hour. The 15 might be enough. We got to see, yeah. But the one I'm really looking at is the 4 hour. Is if you look at this lift, you get this crossing of the 4 hour, and from there it hasn't broken yet. So from this crossing, it was a 25, nearly 26% move. Yeah. So if we look at the same thing and we get the 20, the white crossing the blue here, 20, 25, 26%, and that brings it back down to 29.90. Yeah. Now I do believe that we are going to have a lower low here. So if I put the fib from here, top to bottom, from the top here to the bottom here, and at a minimum, I think it's going to be 1,272, which is a 26 cent or so. Yeah, I put this on months ago. I forgot about this. I put this on months ago, and essentially, I'm looking at the bear flag here, and the target is 26.35. Yeah, so we haven't fully met that target. Yeah, but again, it came back up and broke this high. Okay, so I'm looking at the 1 hour spill on the EMAs, but really what I'm looking for is the 4 hour. So the 4 hour is at the 55 EMA 4 hour is at 40.21. So again, I'll be looking for the 20 to cross over the 55 of 40.21. Yeah, and that will be a very strong signal for a move down. Yeah. Equally on this chart this is the 50. This is the green is the 50 EMA, and the red is the 200 EMA on the 1 hour. And what I'm looking for again is for these to cross as well. Yeah. And that will signal a bigger spill. Yeah. And that is at 200 is at 40.39. 40.24. Yeah. Okay, so they're in similar positions. So in all likelihood, the 50 EMA crossing to 200 on the hour is probably going to cross over quicker than the 20 EMA on the 55. Hang on, does that make sense? Okay, yes, okay, so I'm confusing myself for a sec, yes. Okay, so yeah, it does make sense, because this is on the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, I'm looking for the 20 EMA to cross the 55. But on the 1 hour, I'm looking for the 50 EMA to cross the 200 EMA. Okay, there was the timelines got me confused there. So yes, and now on this chart, what I've done here is that just while we're here, you can see what I've charted out is, you see here's the overbought, here's the oversold. Is the blue lines are, I've gone back and back tested this historically, yeah. So all these blue lines above are the average levels that the RSI, the white here, the RSI goes to, yeah. And when it starts to get pretty high, there's only certain times, there's like very few times it hits the red line here, and then the orange is less, and then the yellow, and then these blue ones are more general. So very few times it hits the red line here. Is anytime it hits the RSI hits this high, there's a minimum of a 20% drop. Generally between 20 and 40% drop here, yeah. And after that, what you get is obviously you get your bottom out here. You get your bottom out, and then what you get as it bottoms out, generally it goes to the orange line again. Another signal for a long position when you start to get the bullish divergence here. But you get this bounce back up again where it starts to play out another bearish divergence. Yeah. So you can see these levels here is is here's where we got this lift, we got this big drop down. Now here's this continual lift up, but now look, we're back into that bearish divergence on the 1 hour, yeah. And again, it can get dragged out. It can play out quite a bit. You can see it plays out here. But again, this looks like it's topping out, yeah. Potentially maybe one more push, but I don't think it'll be very much if it does go, yeah. So I'm just watching. I'm watching here. Is a really clear signal that it's done is when the 50 EMA crosses the 200 on the 1 hour. So it's another thing I'm watching for, yeah. And generally on the chart, you can see here. I'll zoom out to 4 hours so you can see it easier. Yeah. You can see this descending channel here, yeah. And equally, you have this pump, and it's an ascending channel. So we've got the breakout. Go back to the 1 hour now. We have the breakout of this channel, and again we have the back test at the moment, yeah. Equally, we have a test of the larger descending channel to see if it'll break back into it, yeah. So there's a target here. There's an initial target I have. There's an initial target I have of very simply 36. 36. Now also there's a potential wedge here, like this. So you can see the wedge like this, and this would set up a bigger target. I'll actually do it from where it is. Potential bigger target here, coming down to 33.20. Yeah, that would also take it. That would also take price action back down to the center line of this descending channel. Yeah. So I'm watching for that as well. And then equally here is here's the consolidation pattern playing out here as well. Yeah. So look, you got the drop down. Price action drops. It comes back up and it resets itself and breaks above, comes down, breaks below, comes back up, does a higher high, you know, and then generally it comes back down, it does a lower low. Doesn't always have to do it, and we probably have a bounce back to this line or so. Something like this, and then I think potentially we'll head on up to 55. But if this does play out, again, we're looking at the touches of this descending channel here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and potentially we get a bottom touch back down here. Generally, again, around the 26 mark, which again, there's other confluences that I was showing you that 26 or so might be a target, yeah. And if that was the case, and we get a breakout of this descending channel, just out of curiosity, if we put this on, put this up here, this will bring us back up to about 57, yeah. So that would fit in with giving us our lower low, back up the test to the 55 mark again. If we get our rejection and our final rug pull, and I reckon maybe 3 or 4 months down the road, that might be the end of the bear market if it plays out this way. So we got to see what it wants to do. Yeah. Then just more short term. These are the stock on the VWAP or the RSI, stock on the blue and red here, and then the RSI is the white. This is the hourly top right. See the hourly is resetting itself. Bottom left is the 2 hours bottomed out, the 3 hours bottomed out, the 4 hours bottomed out. So the smaller time frames are bottomed out. So you've got the smaller time frames between 1 and 4 hours. Then you've got 4 hours to the day, and then you've got the days to the weeks. So it looks like the VWAP and the dailies is turned down. So the dailies are further down, yeah. So that's the one that's flipped. the shorter time frames have exhausted themselves getting this breakdown, yeah. So then the later time frames from 4, so we look bottom right here, and we'll have a look at the 6 hour. So there's the 6 hour. So 6 hour is still on this way down. So the 6 hour is still pushing down. You see the RSI here as well has space to go. The 8 hour is obviously pushing strong. 9 hour, 10 hour, pushing strong. 12 hour. Again, you see the 12 hours after taking a turn down there as well. So the later hours on the day are also, there's the 18 hour pushing strong, have turned down. The dailies have turned down, but there's the day. But the earlier hours are getting a bit exhausted. So it's quite possible that the earlier hours might just keep pushing a little bit more, yeah, and just get that bit more exhausted. So what do I mean by that? Is if you look at what the hour has done here, is it bottomed out, and look, you can see it's done these little waves, and this little wave here was the big spill from last night. So it's possible that bottom right, the 2 hour might do that. So the 2 hour might come up here, and then you get this small little turn here, but yet there's a bit of a spill on it. But at some point, these guys are going to get exhausted and need to reset themselves. One of the things I'll be looking for is how fast they reset, how quickly did they get back to the top, and how much of a move is that. So will these guys coming back to top still support a bearish divergence for continuation down? Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. Outside of that, I think I'm done. Yeah, there's a strong rejection of the 200 EMA on the daily, yeah. And again, you can see this trend line here. You can see this trend line. Looks like it's been rejected again. So we've got to see. So generally, I set a short. I've got to go find my. Set a short yesterday at 42.70. At 42.70, stop loss at 43.42, and I think a reasonable target is 36. The only thing about that is that whether it'll get down there reasonably fast, or this gets dragged out over days, yeah. So remember, I did this just to remind you. I think a reasonable target here is, there it is. There is the 0.5 around 36.50. Yeah, I think is a reasonable target. And let's see if it wants to make a strong push down, or we're going to get a bunch of sideways, the whole reversal pattern starts here, yeah. So we might be getting something like this, here, like this, and then you get the push down. If this happens, it's a stronger indication that the reversal is stronger, yeah. Because it's consolidating, and then it does another leg down, yeah. And breaking the 0.5. If we start to get something like this, pushes, and then you get a really strong push to the 0.5 like that, it's doing an A, B, C, and if it does it fast, generally it means it wants to continue on up, yeah. So we'll see how it behaves, yeah. Okay, so that's me for now. If you're not in a short and you're looking for one, is you can see that price action is in a consolidation here. So again, look, it bottomed out here, comes back up, sets a level, breaks a low, does a higher high, probably come down, do another low, lower low, or a low here. It'll come back up here, and then this is where you get your decision. This is where you get your decision for it, yeah. So if I put a small thing in this PPP, there you can see that consolidation playing out at the moment. It's also a small arc. It's a 15-minute arc. So if you were looking for an entry, is watch when price action tops out here, when it bottoms out here again, yeah. Let's say it bottoms out to here, yeah. Is you could put a nice put a fib on this, top to bottom, and it'll be a nice small one, yeah. You put a 702 entry, and you put your stop loss just above the high here. And because it will be playing out, it's more playing out on a 15-minute consolidation range. I know you can see it on the hour, but the 15 minutes is much clearer, yeah. Your stop loss should be fairly tight. So that's what I would be looking for, is when this bottoms out again, it sets a range, and when you start to see it come up again, is now you put your fib on. Look for your 702, stop loss is there. And again, I think a reasonable target is 36, 35.50, yeah. Could go lower, but I think that's a pretty reasonable. Okay, so that's me for now.